So next we have Mickey from Flow. And Mickey, I think, is right over here. Is that you, Mickey?
Indeed it is.
All right. How are we doing? We're very happy to be together here in Crypto Voxels. Here's Ben, the creator of Crypto Voxels, peering at us. And here's a very disturbing Cheshire cat as well. So how is your day going, Mickey? How are you doing?
Great. I decided to come in here as an anon. So
there you go.
But overall, I'm good. Thanks for having me. Excited to be doing my first Crypto Voxels fireside chat. So.
Well, so what I've realized. So the whole point of the summit is virtual beings in virtual societies. So us as avatars, AIs as avatars, living in virtual worlds. So I thought doing it in a virtual world would be cool. And I also thought it would be cool to wander around the space whilst we talk. So, mildly distracting for the two of us, but for the viewers, extremely thrilling and visually engaging. So, the first thing I'd want to ask you about is tell me about Flow and Dapper Labs and how those two kind of came together, or not came together, but how one grew out of that early world with Dapper. And yeah, tell us a little bit of that world. I think everyone in the audience knows about both, but just to kind of get people engaged with them.
Yeah, I mean, originally we set out, and I wasn't here for the original creation or decision to create a blockchain application, but I've been here 3.5 years, so I know the story well enough. Our venture studio, Axiom Zen, was taking a look at how to bring a mass market or mass adoption to a blockchain through entertainment. So something beyond crypto and crypto speculation. And long story short, out of that came CryptoKitties, which was essentially an experiment in blockchain mass market entertainment or applications to see if we could drive a mass audience to a blockchain, through entertainment. We actually, many people know this, many don't, but CryptoKitties is actually the first NFT as NFTs are known today. Our CTO wrote the ERC 721 standard in order to create CryptoKitties. Go ahead.
It's crazy. I mean, you guys really are the kind of progenitors of everything.
Yeah, I don't take credit for that, but the company definitely has that DNA. Anyway, CryptoKitties was successful and it accomplished our goals in some sense. I mean, became a worldwide phenomenon. We did attract, kitty lovers, etc. So mass market audience, but ultimately we were limited in much the same way projects are still limited on Ethereum today. Scalability issues, high gas fees, UX, UI challenges, and all of that stuff. So at that point, we knew we were on to something in building mass market applications on the blockchain, but we didn't know where we were going to build the next generation of our applications. So we actually did a good 6-7 months or so of research, looked at 50 different teams, read the white papers, did deep dives on, a good 50 projects. Even met with, the Ethereum Foundation and the creators of Ethereum on a couple of occasions to kind of explore the way folks were approaching challenges in this space. And the conclusion we came to after that research, and one we didn't come to lightly, was that to really drive the first 100 million or 1 billion users into the blockchain application space, we were going to have to create our own blockchain with these types of experiences in mind from the ground up. And that's when the concept of Flow was born. And Flow had a few different names before it was Flow, but ultimately we launched with Flow a good 2 years or so after, I think it was more than 2 years actually, after we decided that was a route we wanted to go.
Mm-hmm. That's super
And
cool.
you know,
Let's check
and Flow, frankly, is the only uh, blockchain, layer one blockchain built with these specific experiences in mind
yeah,
from the ground up.
yeah. NFTs, is that what you sort of mean by these specific experiences, or more the
NFTs, more broadly than that,
yeah.
gaming mass market applications,
Mm.
specifically with mostly with NFT or NFT based components or strategies within them.
And do you think the kind of the scalability is a big kind of, I saw Vitalik saying we should just move NFTs to layer 2, and how much it's, interfering with Ethereum in some ways. Do you think it's good for the consumer to have a chain that's just for that kind of, as you say, mass market stuff?
I think personally, I think there will be multiple chains for very specific purposes. I don't know.
Can we go inside? Let's go inside.
Yeah. I think that this is great. The DeFi stuff on Ethereum seems to be almost a bigger problem than NFTs and creating scalability and gas issues. But when they're both going well at the same time is when the problem really exacerbates. I do think that there will be specific chains that win out for specific businesses or purposes, right? I do think there will be a mass market application or an NFT chain, maybe a couple. There's probably going to be a DeFi chain and all the other kind of business purposes you can think of that should exist on blockchains. That will probably have their own chain, but scalability is only one part of the equation. Frankly, when we were doing that research back in 18, everyone was solving for scalability, but what they were doing and why we didn't choose any of the other projects is because they were sacrificing an awful lot of what makes the space great and interesting for the sake of pure scalability. And we didn't want to do that. We had, we were application developers. We knew what made building applications in the blockchain space great. And a lot of the sacrifices that were being made weren't acceptable to us in terms of we wanted to build really great projects in this space. So that's really what it came down to.
Well, now we're looking at a CryptoPunk here, and obviously you guys, crypto avatar, you guys have been talking about Genies, which is a brilliant avatar company, and Genies is speaking at the summit as well.
Yeah.
How do you think about that? How do you think about digital fashion and flow? And tell us a little bit about what, maybe high level what you think, and then whatever you can say about what you foresee in the coming months.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I've been hearing about and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, would you consider CryptoPunk a digital, a virtual being?
I would, yeah. I mean, I think that for me, it's like a lot of it's about metaverse identity, and it's about it's a range from something that embodies me, so an avatar, whether it's a 2D avatar or a genie or something like that, ranges from that all the way to little Michaela, where it's a fictitious character. So, and all the way over to AI characters that's kind of the range of virtual beings as I see it. So yeah, I would definitely include both CryptoPunks. I think we all were sort of stunned the extent to which, not to go on, but the extent to which the billions of dollars that Zuck spent on the metaverse and on trying to get us to psychologically connect to an embodied internet, all of those, probably $80 billion must have been spent on Oculus at over some period of time. There's so many people at the company working on it. It's incredible. And all of that is nothing compared to the psychological revelation of all of these people actually using NFT avatars as their metaverse identity. So I think that's been a shock that the 2D JPEG actually really does work because it's natively interoperable, right? Like you see with me, like I can put my punk here, I can have it on my Twitter, like there's something nice about how.
You could give it to me if you want.
No, okay, you're out of your mind. This is like this is my entire like life over here. But it is funny, and so I think it's very cool that you chose Genies as your second kind of big group because it's so logical to where the metaverse is going. But tell me how you think of it and where you're excited for the Genies partnership to go.
Yeah, look, I wanted to ask the question about CryptoPunks because I do think CryptoPunks is an avatar or a virtual being in that sense. And CryptoPunks were not created; they were created as just static 2D imagery and without utility built in. And you know what happened is the community in the universe discovered utility, and it's simple utility. It's my profile picture on Twitter and my other social networks, right? But the community and owners created utility, and that's really what this space is all about. And what's exciting about Genies is not only, obviously we're looking at CryptoPunks. It's very, a lot like CryptoKitties. It's very simple artwork. Yeah. It's 2D, pixelated. It's basic. And Genies is not, but it's not to say that the artwork, the basic nature of the artwork versus the superiority of what a Genies looks like. But what it is Genies is built with utility in mind, right? So there's already a utility built into that project.
With fashion, you sort of mean, like with the mutability of how it looks?
You dress it up. It's built to be interoperable between, your social networks, your profiles, and all kinds of other experiences across the web. So it's really built for that purpose from the ground up. But where I really think things become interesting is you mentioned your time at Oculus or Facebook. The whole company was building towards something. What we learned with CryptoKitties and what makes the space special is.
There you are. I thought I'd lost you.
I got done following you.
Let's check out the Stonehenge thing as you're speaking.
What makes this special is you don't need to limit the metaverse strategy or design or concepts to a company in the ultimately limiting creative horsepower of that company. What the blockchain enables, what smart contracts enable, and what the open ecosystem enables is the community to take core projects and build out from it and create secondary experiences, secondary utilities that are based off the original smart contracts or based off the original product. That's what you see in the DeFi space. There's already levels and levels of projects being built on top of each other for different purposes and use cases. And when you think of that in terms of virtual worlds, virtual beings, games, and these types of experiences, leveraging NFTs, which are interesting and expressive, etc. You get a community of millions of users. The creativity that comes out of that it is unfathomable. It's much greater than you would get with any single organization. So that's the future. The future.
I love that bottom-up approach, and it's what we're seeing, as you say.
It's what you saw with CryptoPunks without that even being the intention, and with it being obviously very limiting. But when you take something like Genies and it's built for that purpose from the beginning, and it's not limiting whatsoever, I think I think the upside there is kind of we'll wait and see, but it's unlimited. And then you asked about digital fashion. I think I've used this example on multiple occasions, but when I grew up in Chicago, and I think this is kind of pervasive, at least across the United States at the time. So it's not limited to Chicago, but I think it exacerbated by being in Chicago. In the mid 80s, when I grew up in grade school, I know I'm dating myself, but for example, the kid, after summer vacation, when kids came back to school, or maybe it was after Christmas break. I think it was after Christmas break, honestly. But either way, the point is that everyone was excited and everyone wanted to see who got, yeah, it was Christmas break because they would get them for Christmas. Everyone would want to see who got the new Jordan shoes, who was wearing the new Jordans. Those would become the popular kids. Everyone wanted to talk to them. It was really who had the new Jordans was capturing their social capital, right? Now, fast forward to me being a father of a 7-year-old, and the amount of time and the amount of social capital he exerts in a digital space like Roblox or et cetera, it really turns me on to the fact that him or maybe the next generation after him probably won't even, or the digital world and digital clout and what you have and own and are in terms of a virtual being, avatar, digital clothing, digital accessories, it could probably, I'd probably guess that it might surpass what they feel about physical possessions or their physical being.
You think it's going to be the next generation? I mean, surely your child is right in there.
I think it is this generation, but just to be fair, if it's this generation that starts it, it will.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think that maybe more of a hybrid generation.
Yeah.
Before we go full transhuman. Try pressing F. I have noticed people get stuck in this Stonehenge thing. Maybe flying out will get you out of here. But as we sort of come to the end, I have two kind of pre-written questions. One is which sports would be next for Flow?
I mean, look, I don't want to share anything at this point, but you can imagine. I'm still stuck in this hinge.
Yeah, I know.
You can imagine with the success.
I'm going to circle you like a vulture that's like kind of waiting for you to lose your energy. There you go. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, what I was saying is, you can imagine all global sports leagues are interested in what we're doing and exploring, potentially working with us. So some interesting things to be announced in very short order. But sports are a big part of Dapper Labs strategy, and you will definitely see more sports out of us. I mean, we have announced the UFC. The UFC is being built as we speak, and it'll be launched pretty soon here as well. But even beyond the UFC, there's more that we'll be announcing. Now, I also want to ensure that I say this and make sure people understand that there is the thing that Dapper Labs is doing, and Dapper Labs is a studio, which is a studio that builds on Flow. But there's also, Flow is an open ecosystem that is not closed at all, and anyone can come in and build into the Flow ecosystem, just as Dapper Labs is doing.
We are both trapped. This
are
is
you
kind
trapped
of
too?
Okay, so for my final question, it's kind of fitting for my final question.
Yeah.
Because we're both. It's just the entire screen is kind of collapsing around us. So yeah, the last question from the audience is: have you thought about how to make Top Shot more interactive? And I'm not sure quite what they mean by that, but I guess like not just memories and moments, but maybe something that's something that users can change, or like, and NFTs that are more fully interactive.
So what
or how you think about it.
What's that?
Just how you think of interactivity and NFTs, and gaming is an element, but how you think about it.
Well, the first NFT project ever created, CryptoKitties,
was a game.
Had utility. And I will say that anything that we do, we believe in utility or use case beyond the collectability of those assets. So we were testing a bunch of utility activations or initiatives with Top Shot. Over the summer, you saw, Top Shot owners got a trip to the NBA Finals. They got a trip to the NBA Draft. There's, the collector score. There's the set mechanics. Those are just kind of us dipping our toes into utility or use cases beyond collecting for Top Shots. There is a tremendous amount of ideas and these types of activations on the roadmap that will allow our Top Shot users to use them in really interesting and engaging ways. So, in general, the next step and in progress in the space is, what you're seeing organically with CryptoPunks, let's say, or Bored Apes, where the utility is the social clout they get in their social media. That's great, but the more and more these projects are built with utility in mind, the more and more interesting they become. And it moves
funny.
Art.
We've actually been with George, who's Voxel Architects, who actually created the Stonehenge. He also got stuck in his own creation. So I think I may be Discording George at some point to kind of make it a little less easy to get stuck in here. But I think this is super exciting, and I'm super happy to have had you at the Virtual Beings and Virtual Society Summit. And I love floating Mickey. I think it's very becoming. And yeah.
Well, not becoming right now because I'm stuck in some stone. So
there you go. All right, man. I think we'll end it there and move on to the next speaker. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.